You'd think I'd be ready when that clock hits 0, but I'm not. I still scramble a little bit there. Welcome to SHL Tonight. It's a fun episode this evening here. We have obviously myself, your host. I'm Ace. Alongside me, my wonderful co-host HFFO. Hiff, how you doing tonight?
Not too bad. I'm going to be eating a quesadilla through the show. That's why we got two other people to talk.
I thought you had the quesadilla.
I was eating it, but I didn't finish it. I was scrambling.
And then alongside us, we have Rich and Luke, who I don't know if you guys know, but they have their own podcast too. So that's kind of cool.
The Luke and Rich podcast, right?
Yeah.
No, the other way around.
Like yeah, for sure. Rich, how are you?
I am great. I'm really, really happy to be on with you guys.
Excellent. Well, we're glad to have you. Luke, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. New England finished pretty well this year, other than last year's debacle, so I can't complain.
So you heard it first off, right off the hop, that New England is already finished this year. So
Yeah.
They're done. It's over.
It's cooked. Yep.
Playoff prediction set.
Yeah, you guys hear that there. We got Slicer in the chat. Welcome in, Slicer. Rex is here as well. No, we're not going to wait for the Ducks game. That's not going to happen.
Also, pick a better team.
Troy McClure is here as well. Patrick, I don't know who Patrick is, but hey, buddy.
It's a rookie.
To have you here.
He's in the chat.
Glad to have you. Yeah, welcome to SHL tonight. We have Raph as well. Raph, welcome in. Now the pods have to kiss. Yeah, I mean, you didn't see what we did before we went live, so we're gonna have a little pod baby in 9 months. Pretty exciting. Rugsy's here as well, so we are very excited here. We're gonna do a little just little conversation here tonight. So pretty excited to go in on a few different topics. If you guys ever have any suggestions or anything you would like for us to talk about on the show tonight, don't hesitate to jump into the chat and submit that, and we would be happy to jump into those. So we're going to jump in right now, right off the hop here, guys, and I am curious. It's playoffs. It's playoffs for SHL, SMJHL. We're going to probably focus just with the people that we have here, probably a little bit more on the SHL side of things. But if people want to talk about the J, please, by all means, put those topics into the comments here. Troy, I'm not going to ask Rich about robots. I'm not doing that. We're going to move on from that. We're going to take the high road on that front. I know, right? We're above that here on SHL tonight, as this is a league-sanctioned podcast. I don't know what they do on that other show, but here on SHL tonight, we do not bully. So I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen here. So bear with me a quick moment here while I pull that up.
Oh, and real quick, Pooley actually makes a good point in chat. The playoff brackets are out, the PT playoff brackets, so get over
great. Yes. Great point. Yes. Pooley says playoff brackets are out. Go ahead and use the wonderful suggestions that we're going to give you on tonight's podcast. To the SHL Tonight podcast does not guarantee high TPE. Please consult our legal agreement by all things that we post online. Here you have the SHL playoff bracket here. So, I mean, as all good things start, we should probably start in the East. I mean, you always, time zone, the East games start first. So we look at that wonderful top right game right here, or the series right here in the top right. Buffalo Stampede against the New England Wolfpack. I'm going to send it around you guys just to get your takes panel style. I understand that one of our panelists here are very biased. But still, I don't know. But we're still going to ask the question, and we're going to throw it around here. So
probably that Winnipeg GMA.
Probably. I'm not going to provide.
Loves New England, so.
I mean, I am a New England alum, so I am a little biased towards.
Me too.
The Wolfpack.
Won 2 cups in New England.
Yeah, but how many years ago was that? Like actually,
season 29 and 30.
So you were around for the 3
years ago.
So Eggy didn't keep you around for 33.
I think I left.
Well, you were on those teams.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Those are my first cups, Rich.
Those were my first cups.
We joined 6.
I know.
You can always check in the index,
What was
my profile?
How do I not remember this?
I don't know how you don't remember. I was there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hiff, what is your take on the Buffalo Stampede New England Wolfpack series
All right.
here?
So New England Buffalo are fairly similar teams in the regular season. There wasn't a lot of disparity between them. It was about 5 more wins for New England. The goal differential tends that way as well. It's 6 over the season, so not a huge factor. I don't know who does Vandy's tactics, but
Conan.
Luke has proven tactics, so I'm going to lean towards Luke in the playoffs. As having 2 close teams, tactics can often make the difference, and have that close decision be set in one direction.
So we're gonna go around and grab just initial thoughts on the matchup first, and then I'm gonna send it around the room and also get your pick for the series.
All right. Well, I
And-
ruined it
and
anyway,
we're-
but yeah.
I mean, you already said it, but we didn't get like an exact prediction. So,
All right.
next up, we're gonna throw it over to Rich. What is your thought on this series, my friend?
Buffalo, New England's, I don't know, super close. I take New England simply because I like Luke, but realistically, I think it's pretty even.
You heard it here first, folks. Rich likes Luke.
Yeah. He's all right. Yeah, I think it's even, and I would give him maybe a slight edge to New England. I mean, obviously their record's better, but like I think actually it's real close.
We do have a ban Luke in the chat there from Rashford. So,
We'll see.
Luke, can you please tell me more about this Buffalo New England matchup?
Yeah, sure. Buffalo, for whatever reason, no matter how much TPE they have, whatever Tillman does just has them win. Surprise, surprise. I think for the last 40 seasons. New England, on the other hand, have been pretty good this season. We started off rocky. We started off with shit PDO, and now our goalie's good, but we just couldn't score for most part for the regular season. But this playoffs, for whatever reason, Steve does absolutely shit against Buffalo. So I'm gonna go that it's gonna be a close game 7.
So who all right, that's a good question. All right. So let's go ahead and throw it around the room here. So we got a game 7 call from Luke here.
Yeah.
Hiff, who wins the series?
I'm going New England in 6.
New England and 6.
When Luke decides to switch Siv out and play the backup goalie, they sweep after that, after losing the first game.
I don't want to put Lepish out there.
Got to put Leppy out.
NJ Bad Apple says Buffalo is the Honda Civic of the SHL. Not flashy, just reliable. Rich, Buffalo, New England.
I take New England in 7.
Okay, New England in 7. Luke, what is your pick for the series? No bias.
New England in 7, I think. I mean, last year we lost 4 games straight in overtime. So as long as we don't do that, I think we'll come out on top.
I'm a contrarian. I'm going to go Buffalo in 7 just because I want to disagree with you guys. There's a lot of stats behind that. I'm not going to elaborate. Next series, you have the Atlanta Inferno up against the Toronto North Stars. Hiff, what's your take on this series, my friend?
All right. So Atlanta, they were second in the East or first in the East?
First in the East.
First in the East, yeah. They finished second overall, plus 103 goal differential, 45 wins. Toronto's literally the last playoff team to make it. They have the worst record of any playoff team. Only a minus 38 goal differential, which I thought would be worse. But unless some FHM shenanigans are happening, you got to think it's trending Atlanta. They got the reigning MVP from last year. They were absolutely dominant, but Toronto's got the playoff experience from last year. Maybe they know the upset formula.
Yeah, that's a good point. Rich, what is your take on this series, my friend?
And there's really not a whole lot to say here. It's like, Atlanta is who I think probably just about everybody should have thought they were. And Toronto is also kind of the same. Like more of what they should have been last season. I don't know. Atlanta. Like they're a very big surprise if Toronto pulled it out.
We do have Spidey in the chat saying Toronto's going to do it again.
It's not impossible.
I don't know what that means, but they're going to do it again,
Well,
according to Spidey. What?
Round 3 last year on a hope and a prayer. So
Yeah, true. Luke, over to you, my friend. Atlanta, Toronto.
Atlanta's just too good, man. I know Hot Dog and the other people that do their tactics are super good. They know how to, make the game by game adjustments. I think that they'll sweep them.
So on that topic here, Luke, you're a GM that has a lot of experience with tactical adjustments during the postseason.
Yeah.
Do you believe in just kind of letting it ride, or do you think that there's a lot of analysis that needs to happen between games?
For home games, you just need to let it ride. But for away games, you gotta change it up. You gotta make sure that your best players are going against their worst players and switching things up.
Excellent. All right, so let's go around the room, make our picks for the series as well, for the Inferno against the Toronto North Stars. Hif, what is your pick for this series?
We're going Toronto in 6. They got the playoff matchup from last year. They're going to upset the regular season All-Stars. The Toronto team is going to turn Atlanta into a real-life Toronto team.
I like
That's
that.
aggressive.
Rich, your time.
Atlanta in 5. And I feel like I'm being a little generous to Toronto.
Wow. Strong words from Rich there, ladies and gentlemen.
That's me. That's what I'm known for. My hot takes,
Yeah.
Next up, Luke. What is
Atlanta
your pick?
sweeps. This is not even close. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Sweep. All right. Fair enough. So Atlanta punches their ticket at the second round. And it was a universal sweep in the first round there for the New England Wolfpack as well. So it'd be interesting to see how the seeding works out in the second round. Moving on, the next series is going to be the Montreal Patriots or Patriotes. I don't know how to speak it in French there. We're moving on. The Patriots against the Platoon. I can speak Platoon in English just fine. Hif, what is your initial take from this series?
It's pronounced Patriotes, like coyotes, actually.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Makes sense.
But yeah, Montreal was fantastic in the regular season. They did trail off towards the end. At one point, they were first or second in the entire league, leading the Eastern Conference for a while. And then that kind of slowed down a little bit. Still finished strong, still had a fantastic regular season. This was the growth we were expecting to see from them for a while now, and it came out in a big way after their trade acquisitions. Baltimore is in a bit of a flux. They did acquire some players, had a releasing of some players, Koenig Wolf in the offseason after acquiring him, which took a hit to their TPE. Bit of a rebuild flux season. I think, if one has to look, they're probably trending towards Montreal after the regular season. But Wally's a long tenured GM. He's used FHM plenty of times before, so should be an interesting matchup.
Rich, what are your thoughts on this series?
Montreal are very good. Thought they'd be a little bit better regular season, but we're going to maybe chalk that up to new team coming into their own, still figuring things out. But I think they're pretty heavy favorite here. Not as bad as Atlanta, Toronto, but yeah.
Luke.
I think that Montreal had a great season. I think they were unlucky on the win side a little bit. They were fourth best in goal differential. They were like a step below what Atlanta and San Francisco were. On the other hand, Wally is for everything else, but he's a great coach, and he helped New Orleans do excellent last season, and he had Baltimore exceed expectations this season. So I think it's going to be closer than what people think.
All right. So Luke says it's going to be closer than what people think. Let's hear what our analysts have to say. Hif, what is this series going to finish at? For
Yeah,
Montreal?
I'm going 4-2 Montreal. I think they get 2 games, goes to 6. But I think the 2 games Baltimore wins are going to be like 1-0 shutouts that FHM came out and ruined your whole day for.
All right. Rich, what's your take on this series?
Yeah, I'm the same. Montreal in 6.
Very unique and creative. Well done.
Thank you. That's me.
Luke.
I'm doing opposite. I think it's 4-2 Baltimore.
Wow.
I think they're gonna beat Montreal.
Interesting. That would be a collapse if Montreal doesn't advance to the second round, as far as I'm concerned.
It happens.
It does. I know. All right. So moving on, you have our analyst's pick for that series as well. We're staying in the East here. We're going to wrap up this first round before we advance to the Western Conference. The final series in the East, the Tampa Bay Barracuda and the Philadelphia Forge. Hif, what is your thoughts on this first round matchup?
Yeah, so this is a really weird one. Tampa Bay went to the finals last season and then decided to spend most of this season on vacation in Florida. They were in like the bottom 4 until like the last week and a half of the season. Came out and pulled off some, a great record heading into the playoffs. So trending in the right direction at the right time. But definitely a bit of an undershowing for their team and their roster when they wanted to be performing well this season. Philadelphia's an absolute titan of the Eastern Conference. They've been good since the dawn of time. Finished third in the league this season, 87 points, a plus 46 goal differential. So they're playing absolutely fantastic hockey. I think that's fifth in the league. And these are two teams who have kind of been on opposite ends of the spectrum for the past 10 or so seasons outside of last season.
So I have to ask you a question about the point you just made. You mentioned that it seemed like the team based in Florida went on vacation in Florida. Do you think that they would stay local there if given the opportunity to go elsewhere on vacation?
I think they'll go to West Kelowna.
Kelowna, yeah, they might.
West Kendall, you mean?
West Kendall. Oh my God, yeah. West Kendall. Oh my God.
Is the West End of Kelowna known for their vacation spots, Rich? Is it a booming tourist industry?
West Kelowna is right on the Okanagan Lake, so it would be beautiful.
It's gotta be
I'm sure.
Gorgeous. Yeah. No one's seeing you there either. There's 6 people.
Yeah.
All right. So you have Hiff's take. Rich, what is your take on this Tampa Bay Philadelphia matchup?
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Hold on. Oh, sorry, Rich. I apologize. Rashford does confirm that West Kelowna is very nice. He'd know.
Is it still part of Kelowna, or
it's going to be part of America soon? I think
it's soon enough. Sorry, Rich. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia looks pretty mortal. They're still a very good team, but they didn't necessarily show it this season. My guess is that's because of base pack. Sorry, Sloth. I love you. I'm just kidding. No, and Tampa's also very good, but their roster's good. But they didn't really put it together. I don't know. This is, I think, quite close, even though maybe in the standings it looks like it might not be. I don't know. I think this is kind of I think whoever gets the right goalie roles in the sim probably takes it.
Fair enough. Luke.
Both teams are very good. Philly has just been on an absolute tear over the last 15 seasons, which helps. They've gotten good goaltending, lots of high scores. And then on the other hand, Tampa Bay, I think I was looking at this through the last, all season. They were 18th or 17th in PDO the whole entire season. They actually allow the least amount of shots per game at 31. They just didn't have the goaltending this season, I think. So I think it's going to be closer than what people think. Plus, base pack always under delivers in the playoffs.
We love you, Sloth.
All right. Well, there you have it. Our picks for this first round series, though.
Yeah, so a bit of an add to that. The goal differential, while the standings are far apart, it's not. It's 34 to 58. 46. It's not far off at all. Sorry, Tampa 23. I was looking at a different team, but 23 goals. It's not a huge amount compared to some other teams. It's a lot closer. I do believe there's a lot of FHM knowledge in that Tampa war room. They have Agent Smith there, who was the simmer forever and a day. So
he has the password.
Exactly. No, that's not anymore. But yeah, I'm going to have Tampa in 7 just as we need some upsets to happen. And I pick DK for the cup every season just to meme on him. So that'd be fun.
Rich.
I thought I was going to be weird and take Tampa in 7, but I'm taking Tampa in 7. I need Tampa Bay to finally make it happen.
So by finally make it happen, do you mean
win the first round?
Oh,
no.
Thank you for clarifying.
No.
It has been a while for them. For me, I got to go Philly in 6. I think there's going to win out. They have home field advantage. If it does go to game 7, I think they'll win. So I'm going to go Philly in 6. But I think
I do
they're
need
going.
Dwight to double down, and if they lose in the first round, they're rebranding back to the Hydras.
That would, the first Tampa Bay team.
Yeah,
Yeah, but separate technically.
doesn't
We
matter.
gotta-
Tampa
we
Bay,
get the
Tampa
Wolf,
Bay.
Let's get
Same.
the Wolf Pack to rebrand back to the Hydras.
No,
Go
I'm
full
good.
Nando. Anyways, moving on. Western Conference. So the first matchup we have here is the New Orleans Spectres against the Chicago Syndicate. Spectres have been, a team that I think has always been kind of in the middle ground, like always pretty competitive, but never like a top tier contender. And then you have the Syndicate who are, on the back end of, a decent rebuild. So I'm going to throw it over to you first, Hiff. What is your take on this matchup?
Yeah, this is a really tight matchup. Goal differential separated by 12. Advantage New Orleans. Standings, they're up by about 2 wins, 38 to 36 with a 4-point differential. So very close in terms of the standings. Two old GMs, but not old in terms of their GMing. Nike and Joe have been around forever. Joe's been GMing forever. Nike's relatively new. I think it's about 6 seasons now. But there's a lot of knowledge in that Chicago war room. I'm presuming. I don't know who's still there. Been a lot of flux there in the past 5 or 6 seasons. I think it's going to be eventful. You have a team on the upswing and a team that seemingly just replaces players seamlessly each season and remains on the same spot in the standings without fail. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle of philosophies, I think.
Rich.
Man, this is to me kind of like this might come off slightly rude, but I don't find this matchup particularly interesting. They're both solid teams. New Orleans has had kind of issues with Wally I think shorted up a fair bit when he was in there with the coaching, but they've kind of been up and down with their coaching, not really finding that their spot. And Chicago looks like they're kind of maybe opening up a window a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really have a big kind of take on this matchup.
Not a big take on this matchup. You heard it straight from Rich. Yeah.
A snoozer. That's what I meant.
All right. Yep. Anti Western Conference bias, loud and clear. That's fine. Luke, go ahead, my friend.
It's the eternal matchup. Is New Orleans and Chicago? I think they face each other like
eternal matchup. Just wait till the third one in the Western Conference. I'll tell you what. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. I think New Orleans and Chicago face each other in the first round for like the majority of New Orleans has been around since Chicago got moved to the West. New Orleans always had struggle with Chicago. I think they're going to continue, but I think it's going to be a very close matchup. I think it will really just come down to who will outcoach the other.
Excellent. Hiff, who will outcoach the other? What is your pick for this first round matchup?
Yeah, I think in this matchup, I'm sticking with the savvy veterans in New Orleans. Maybe Joe's had struggle with coaching in the past, but might have learned some from Wally last season. I got him in 7. I think it'll be a close one. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, not a snoozer as predicted.
Rich.
Yeah, I'm taking New Orleans in 6. I think maybe New Orleans takes one on the road and that's it. They swap home wins outside of that.
Excellent. Luke.
This is going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be New Orleans, but I'm going to say in 5, but it's going to be a close 5.
A close 5. Don't worry, Chicago. It was a close 5. You did great.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on. Next series, Los Angeles Panthers up against the Texas Renegades. Hiff, what are your thoughts on this one, my friend?
Yeah, so to start the year, Texas was shipping out a lot of longtime veterans on the team, as well as the reigning MVP, the GM's player, Dirty Boots, retired. It seemed like the start of a rebuild for Texas. And then they said, finished 4th in the standings, had the 3rd best goal differential in the league, and looked like their usual fantastic self that we've known of late. Facing off against Los Angeles, who also is in a bit of a reset period, but the flux seems to have hit them a little harder. Versus the 42 wins, they had about 33. Goal differential plus 34, which is still very good, but didn't reflect into wins quite as they hoped. But yeah, both teams have been on the aging side, a bit on that retool / rebuild end of what has been some dominant runs with LAP ending in cups and Texas coming close.
Rich.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will be surprised to hear that our coaching in LA is maybe not what it was in the past. I think that's probably our biggest hurdle right now. Roster's still okay, but we just have not put it together all season. We were very streaky, had a couple like no-win sims, which is real tough. And then Texas kind of completely defies like everything about their team and their TP and their position within like the TPE ranking in the league. I don't know how they managed it, but congrats, incredible season for them. I don't know. No else to say.
Very succinct. Well done. Luke.
Bro, Coop, I don't know what Coop and Peak did, but holy shit, that it is a masterclass of either great coaching, great luck, or everything. And I don't know, like hats off to them. They did something that I think is probably one of the best seasons for a team that was obviously rebuilding, selling off a ton of picks or a ton of players, and then they just ended up being tied for third in the league in points. Like that's crazy. McZ, he can never have a bad forward. 83 points in his rookie season, 40 goals, 32 on the even strength. I think for forwards, McZ might be on his third Hall of Fame forward if that continues. But yeah, on the other hand, LA, they have very good coaches. I know Rich says they kind of fell off, but I think when it comes to playoffs, I think they can tap in and then win here, win there, away, and they can win the series.
All right, Hef. You said, you heard that Luke said that they could win the series. What's your pick?
No, I do think that if there's a good contender for someone to get upset from their regular season standings, Texas is probably as safe a bet as you can get. They finished fourth, seemingly out of Voodoo Magic and Jig's Dinners. That's a Newfie reference, Coop. But yeah, I think LA takes this one in 5.
Rich.
The question is, do you take the TPE advantage or do you take the regular season standing advantage? I'm going Texas in 7.
Luke.
I say all that. I think Texas is going to win in 4. I'll be spicy.
All right.
Speaking of sweeps.
Yeah, true.
Welcome to the next series where the Winnipeg Aurora will be facing against the San Francisco Pride. Not much to say for me for this. I'm just going to throw it over to you.
So Winnipeg is a team on the upswing. The problem is the upswing is coming from the bottom of the desert. It's in a basin that has been covered with sand, and they're crawling their way out. San Francisco is on the opposite end where they're on a heavy downswing, on a final hurrah or one more hurrah after, and they've looked dominant, number 1 team in the league. Leading scorer, their goaltender put up historic GSA numbers out of Voodoo Magic. So all in all, a pretty close series, I'm thinking.
There's not enough of this in the world for me on this series. Rich, what are your thoughts on this one?
Carpy, I believe in you.
Is that it? Is that all you have?
That's it.
Luke.
Bro, I don't know what they put into just-in-time juice. I thought Olaf went crazy, but
He did. I can confirm that he did.
But just-in-time is going bananas. We'll see if he carries that into the playoffs. But if they don't, then I think Winnipeg could win if they can really just hammer just-in-time.
You heard it from Luke that Winnipeg could win if they hammer just-in-time. Take that.
It was like one of those seasons where
by hammer, do you mean like hammers to the knees, like higher goons?
Yeah, no, we're gonna sneak into the whatever evening establishment he goes to. We're gonna get him hammered.
San Francisco, night, so it's the zoo probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
But no, wasn't it HFFO? I think it was like one of the series. It was like San Francisco versus Edmonton when Edmonton was great, and like
I
San
don't want to
Francisco
talk
just
about
had
this
that
shit, Rich.
voodoo magic.
I called out Rich, but I meant Luke.
They had that voodoo magic where like
Yes.
his goalie just went
But that was
crazy.
San Francisco using it. I don't think they're bad enough to get swept.
I'm just saying that could be Winnipeg.
If we
That
want to
could be
talk about that
Winnipeg.
series, so what happened
Could
was
be.
is the person who did the coaching for San Francisco was Caleb.
Caleb's
And
great.
Caleb and Ramen worked together really closely. So when Ramen got traded to San Francisco, he saw their like coaching room during that series, and it was Caleb saying, "I'm going to make this change, and then Ramen's going to do this, this, and this. So I'm going to counter it. I know exactly what he's doing," and he did exactly the things predicted. They just beat us off that.
Caleb's one of the best.
Caleb is the best 17-year-old, 12-year-old on the site for sure.
Bruins fan too. Smart Caleb guy.
Never mind, he
that
sucks.
guy. All right, Hiff, what is your take for this series?
Not only am I calling a sweep for San Francisco, I think it's going to be at
Unbelievable.
least 3 double-digit goal leads for them.
Unbelievable. All right, moving on. Rich.
I believe in Carpi. San Francisco in 5.
Thank you for your belief. We appreciate that. Luke.
Bro, when everyone down to Winnipeg, I'm a Winnipeg truther. You know, even though had some bad luck in the finals, they always made it there. So, and just because they had a shit team this season and they didn't have a winning record, I'm gonna go Winnipeg in 7.
Oh, we got one Winnipeg pick. All right, I love that. Love that. All right, last series of the first round: Seattle and Calgary. Hef.
Yeah, so these teams, they both started their windows in S73. So they're like on a very similar timeline trajectory. I think if you're looking at the way they've pulled it off, Seattle has looked more convincing as being a contender in the near future. Possibly even this season. They've looked very impressive. Calgary's had some ups and downs, but they've got some fantastic players on the team. They're also a weirdly high shot blocking team. One of the few teams that seem to emphasize like just shot blocks. So respect to them for that. I don't know how it works, but both sides have incredible shot blockers in Jääskeläinen and Possum Queen. Possum something. The Possum person.
Possum Queen.
Yeah, but
Formerly Tanner.
Formerly Tanner, yeah. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see because they started on similar timelines, but how they've progressed and how it'll match up. It's a bit of a fun. Who's got the better rebuild going?
Rich.
Yeah, it's this feels like quite the coin toss. I feel like Seattle, Calgary, LA are all kind of like obviously on different trajectories, but like very similar in terms of like strength right now. Feel like those three teams play each other and it's going to be like 50-50 across the board. So I don't know.
I don't know. All right, Luke.
I think it's going to be a close matchup. Seattle has been the better team, I think, for the last 2 seasons. But, last season, Calgary had an amazing performance by Boom as a goalie. But I think this season, they just haven't had enough juice. I think Seattle will take the series.
All right, if.
Yeah, so I think in terms of Boom, like the major factor in their downswing on the regular season performance was their goaltending was very subpar. I think like they finished minus 34th in GSSA or something. So the FHM just came for Calgary's goaltending and ran away with it. But outside of that, playoff goaltending is a different beast. If either goalie can get hot and steal the series, but I do slightly prefer Seattle to win this series. I'd have him in 7.
Fair enough. Seattle in 7. Rich.
It keeps happening. But I'm taking Seattle in 7 too. I think it's. I'm just going because they have home ice. I'm pretty sure, right?
They do,
right? Yeah. So that's basically the reason right there.
Luke.
In the regular season, Boom had a negative 17.63 GSA. Oh my God, GSAA. However, as shown last year, 5-hole Steve, I think had a negative 24 in the regular season, but then had 9 GSA in the postseason, losing in 5 games. So I think I'm going to go with Calgary. I think Soderstrom's going to bring it back. I think it's going to be Calgary in 6.
All right. So there, you have our picks for the first rounds.
We didn't get
Correct.
any of your picks for the record.
You're right. I'm not doing
Who
the
wants that,
research. It's fine. Yeah, correct, Rich. No one wants that. If I could make my picks and make a team win, I would have done it a long time ago. So
Who do you think loses in the finals? We need an expert on that one.
Winnipeg,
You always consult the Buffalo Bills and the Winnipeg Aurora.
we are uniquely qualified of losing in the final. So that is a good question. That actually segues me to my next topic. So we're not gonna jump into it round 2 and round 3. I want to know who every one of your picks are to come out of the East and the West. And I'm gonna throw it over to Hip first. Who comes out of the East and the West for you?
Yeah, I mean, I can start with the West. That one seems a lot simpler. I think San Francisco comes out, not just because they have a great roster, not just because a three-peat would be absurd, and Bad Wolf starting her GMing career with 3 consecutive Challenge Cups would be a ridiculous feat worthy of mention. But I think that their coaching difference, like there are some good coaches in the league, but just how much better at coaching they are than everyone else. Like Caleb's one of those weird people who enjoy playing FHM for some reason, and it shows in their performance. But yeah, I think just pure coaching alone, San Francisco's the easy bet out of the West. Out of the East, we're gonna go a little dark horse. We're gonna have the Tampa Bay Barracuda back in the finals. We're gonna have a rematch of the finals, but this time Dwight's coming on top. Tampa Bay Challenge Cup incoming.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you heard it right here, folks. Hip has the Tampa Bay Barracuda coming out on top,
And they'll
ending
rebrand
the
after. I hate the fish.
ending the back-to-back championship for the San Francisco Pride. Rich, what about you? Who do you have coming out of both the East and the West? And who's your Cup champ?
Boy, out of the West, I mean, listen, it's going to be San Francisco almost certainly. Maybe not, but like they're the safest bet in the league right now in terms of like East or West. What do I want to happen is I would love to see New Orleans. New Orleans would be great. That'd be so fun. But I think it's
Would
gonna
it?
I think it's gonna be SFP. East is a little bit tougher, but I'm gonna go Montreal. Maybe not the most realistic, but I think it'd be the most fun. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
All right.
Don't you think objectively the most fun would be Toronto again?
No,
Just
No.
not a heroic run of nonsense and
I think-
chaos?
I want New Orleans Montreal as the final. That's what I want. What are we gonna get? Probably not that. Probably gonna be San Francisco, and then it could be I think a handful of teams in the East. But I'm gonna pick Montreal.
Wow. So that is 2 analysts that are talking about it, and neither of which picked the top seed, the Atlanta Inferno. Finally, we throw it over to Luke.
Yeah, I think
Who
they're
are
all
your
wrong.
teams?
I think on the East, I think Atlanta is finally going to get over the second round hump. Whether it was against Philadelphia for like 20 seasons or whoever else, I think it's going to be Atlanta in the East. I think it's their time. And then, East, it could be literally like any of Montreal, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, even Philly, even New England. And then in the West, it's really just like it's
What
San
about-
Francisco and then everyone else. However, I think it would be New Orleans out in the West. That's going to be my take. New Orleans.
All right, if we're doing backup picks,
No. This is my pick.
everyone here had
there's no backup.
a hedge
There's no
pick
backup.
outside of SFP.
No.
I'd go
There's no
Seattle
backup.
because I think Seattle's be a fun one in the West if it's not SFP.
We're not asking for backup picks, Hif.
Everyone
We're
else
not
gave
doing
one.
that.
Everybody else
I
gave
did
one.
not.
I never
I
said.
did
I just
I
gave
never
a
said San
want
Francisco.
pick, what I want.
I'm saying if it's not SFP, I think Seattle be a fun team going in.
Why didn't you pick Seattle then?
Because I went for the team that's going to make it, not the team that'd be fun.
You're just a doubter.
So
Yes.
there you have it, guys. That is going to do it for our playoff preview. So stay tuned for more details on that front. Make sure you tune in. Hopefully, we'll have some fun play-by-play when we can do it. Rich, Luke, expansion's coming.
Yeah.
Since when?
And like on Monday they'll end the
Technically late Monday night, the expansions GM applications close. So I'm interested in getting your takes. Are there any maybe markets in which that you would like to see a team be added? Any specific cities that you think would be a good addition to the
Yeah.
SHL?
I have pretty unique insight as I was the co-commissioner last expansion. So I saw, a couple of the other teams and ideas. I think Slash is going to be fine with me saying this. I think I said this a bunch of times, but he suggested the Arizona Skinwalkers. And I think that's an amazing location. I think that's an amazing, team name. I think the logo could be, so sick as a team. I think Arizona would be dope. And then, after that, it's like, do you want to give it to another Canada team? Do you want to give it to like Ohio? I bet there's going to be an Ohio team. But I think the best thing is to either Detroit or Vancouver kick them out of the SMJHL, move them to Grand Rapids or, wherever, Abbotsford, I think, and put one of them in the SHL. I think it's about time. They were created when there was only, freaking 4-6 teams in the league in the SHL. I think it's got time that we bring one of them to the SHL.
Rich.
Yeah, I didn't know that was Slash's thing because Luke and I talked about this before. Yeah, Arizona Skinwalkers is such a cool concept. Love it. Would love to see that. I'm also, and this is like, I don't know, feels like every time we talk about expansion, I say Nashville just because I like Nashville. I think it's a cool city.
Do you call it Smashville or Nashville?
No, it's just Nashville. I don't know why, but that bugs me. But for no reason, I just hear it and I go, I don't like it.
It gives Rich the ick.
Not even that. It's just like, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
It is a little
Whatever.
odd.
It's fine.
So, okay. Do you think that the league will go with? So, I don't know. I'm sure you guys have spent some
Give me
time and you
4.
saw.
Please give me 4.
That's my answer. That is the question I'm about to ask. So you saw that they were asking, depending upon the result, depending on the math, if the user's staying active, if they're going to go 2 or 4. So I'm gonna put you guys on the spot, and Hiff, I'm putting you on the spot as well because I'm the host. I don't have to answer this question. Give me 4 markets that you would like to see an SHL franchise added to if they chose 4. Hiff, go.
All right, so we're going Copenhagen, Reykjavik, Stockholm, and Mexico City.
Oh my god.
We're going all international 4 teams.
Freaking EU.
No Vatican City?
No, there's too controversial these days.
Okay, fair enough. Are those serious answers?
No, serious answers. Honestly, there's like some Southern Ontario cities I'd like just because I grew up in Southern Ontario, but they do shit brand, like shit options relatively, but like a Kitchener team could have some fun.
We already have Hamilton and Toronto, so
I hate Hamilton, the city. So this is just me stealing Hamilton fans. I like Saskatoon or Saskatchewan, like Center of Canada brand. It could be fun, or Halifax if you're looking Canadian. And then I think somewhere in the Midwest. I don't know much about the Midwest, but that shit's empty.
So, a quick question: do you have do you have any problem with the fact that there's already a J team in the market? Would you be opposed to that? Is that an obstacle for you if you were to put an SHL team there?
Necessarily is, especially if it came with like someone who had a really strong branding idea and was a really good candidate, and they were like, "I really want a team in Detroit. Have 2 teams in Detroit. One of the J. Who cares?"
Okay. All right. Well, there's your first 2. What are your other 2?
I guess Portland's always a popular one. The Admirals was always great. I did like seeing the Admirals. And yeah, I'll go with Smashville just for Rich.
Smash.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Let's send it over to Rich. Do you have 4 markets that you would like to see new SHL teams added to if they went with 4?
Yeah, I think like before, I think either Arizona, if we go like maybe a Vegas team or something like that, kind of get something in that.
Bring back the Las Vegas Aces. Not that I'm biased or anything.
Team.
Yeah. Well, you mean Las Vegas Kings?
Yep.
Oh, they were the Kings.
Yeah, they were the Kings,
I'll
man.
call them the Aces.
They went
It's
from the
fine.
nightmare to the Kings.
You were
to the
you were
Seattle
even
Riot.
there. I wasn't even there. I know.
Yeah, well,
I got
That
traded
good.
from them before they were the Kings.
revisionist
Fine.
history.
Mm-hmm.
Outside
So-
of that, I think we get. I like I said also before, Nashville I think is a good city. Ohio seems likely. I don't particularly care one way or the other. I do kind of teasingly say no to Ohio, but I don't actually care.
No Ohio is our official podcast stance, actually.
Yeah,
I concur.
I don't. I care in so much as like I don't fully get why Ohio people love it so much. Like I'm sure it's fine, but whatever.
I mean, everyone I talk to who lives in Ohio doesn't like Ohio, but they just want an Ohio.
Yeah, what? So
But I'll tell you, my
whatever.
kids love Ohio for some reason. They keep saying like Skibbity Ohio and things like that. Like I don't know what's going on with Ohio, but
We need a new plague.
agreed.
4. What about Utah? Why not? Right?
Why not? Why
We need
not?
a Soakers team, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we can be the Yeti.
The Storm and
You know.
Mormons.
Bring back the Blizzard Yeti
You know
logo.
what, how about
logo.
Yeah.
2 Utah teams? There we go.
Two Utah teams.
All right, you
Yeah.
got Salt Lake City and
Put them
what?
both in there.
Name
I'm
a
sure they
second
can
city.
support it.
Name a second city
Cities? Oh, I
in
can't do
Utah.
that.
Name a
Name
second
one city in Ohio in Utah.
Salt Lake.
I'm sure there's one.
It's one of them. Luke.
Salt Lake and regular lake.
Yeah, the freshwater lake and Salt Lake. Luke.
I'm getting on my soapbox. I'm railing against the SMJHL teams. You know, we got to get Vancouver SHL team. We got to get Detroit SHL team. And who let a freaking SMJHL team take over the whole state of Colorado? Like, what are we doing here? You know, kick them all off to the secondary markets, and then put one in Arizona.
All right. My picks. I would like to see a Quebec City team in the
my
SHL.
God. They already got a nation.
I would like to see a team in Nashville. I would like to see a team in the Midwest. And I would also like to see maybe like a Reno team or something like that. Like a Nevada team, a Vegas team, I think would be also very good. So that'll do it for our expansion piece. Questions on you guys about maybe some thoughts about your surprise teams in both leagues this year, as well as your maybe letdown teams. So I don't know how much you guys have been paying attention to the J. Have you guys been
None.
Yeah,
well,
right there.
I look at
Luke.
I look at my prospects and that's it.
Yeah, I'm kind of there as a GM as well. We gotta bring in like a J correspondence. Like I think that's the thing we have to do. If do you agree?
SMJHL correspondent
Get Tip Toasty.
on the mic.
I think that would be great. We just bring him in for like 10 minutes and be like, well, how's everything going in the J? And he just talks about it for like 5
We get
minutes.
the rookie scoring list from someone who posts that every week.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob
I mean,
has it.
I think that would be wonderful.
Oh, so I do have an official podcast. What is the bot going to be named, Luke? What are the name options? Like, what are we contemplating at this point?
I've been waiting for 2 years to think of my own name. I don't know. I like better SHL bot.
Just
or Premier.
SHL bot.
Yeah, Premier.
Why not the ISFL bot?
I mean, I'll just go NSFL one.
ISFL
Nonsense.
PBE bot?
Yeah. I don't know
SSL
if you
bot?
guys saw as well. Like, if you click on the bot, it has like the little banner. I don't know if you
Yeah.
recognize the jersey on the banner.
I did
I
not.
haven't
What
even
is it?
looked at it.
It's a little Easter egg. Season 53 heads.
Oh boy.
I don't even know where to find it.
If you just click on the bot.
I've
Yeah, I
seen
don't
this
know where I
before, but
have it.
forget what
Like,
it
what-
is. It's some terrible
Oh
fake
yeah.
jersey.
It's Clean Andre's jersey.
Clean Andre Kostitsin, my king. He's
I
like
love that
50
guy.
million in debt.
Yeah.
Where's Sergey? I don't know.
So now we can bring up robots. What the heck?
Yeah. It's my robot, so they get to.
This is
Yeah, I
Luke
get a
C3PO.
Troy
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
I'm surprised he didn't go against New England because Troy is rostered on that team, honestly.
Sorry, who?
Exactly.
Who's on the team?
I don't know, some jackass.
Um,
Chance.
that's all we really have for tonight's agenda here. I just wanted to make sure that we thanked Luke and Rich for joining the podcast this evening. Not as long of a broadcast as maybe we had hoped. We had some technical difficulties going into it, but we appreciate both of you guys joining. It was a wonderful time talking to you, breaking down the SHL playoffs. We'd like to spend more time talking about the J, but we got to bring in our J correspondent, and we'll make sure that we arrange that for next time.
Get a hiring
and
post up.
we'll get it up there. Hopefully we get some applicants, and we would love to bring you both back.
It's a tough sell right there. I don't know.
Not
I
next
don't know if you listened to the latest Rich and Luke, but I think we should talk to you guys pretty well.
Did we? I don't.
Yeah, I think we did.
I don't think we even talked.
What was the negative feedback? I got to hear it live.
Genuinely do not remember saying.
I don't
anything
remember
about
either.
All right, we're gonna watch it, and next week we're gonna shit talk their shit talk.
Actually, you need
and
to
it'll start
watch
shading.
all episodes upcoming. is what you
Yeah.
need.
Oh, so the upcoming ones are where you should
Yeah,
talk us.
yeah.
Okay,
Just
gotcha.
watch the next one. If it's not there, watch the next one, and then so on.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Makes
Fair
sense.
enough. That's fair. To those of you that tuned in to watch us, appreciate your listenership. We will see you guys next week. We'll be live again, and we'll see you then. Peace.